कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen yaar, don't be so conservative. Okay, I think I'm on. I don't know because of the technological imbalance in Malabar Hill at the moment. I'm not sure if this shows. If it's not on, then I'm just going to appear stupid. Actually, not, because if it's not on, how do you know? So now I appear stupid by my first observation, which is completely not on. Before we start, a complaint. Rishi, my good friend, who does the engineering here. No, not about the technology. I'll never complain about that. I don't have an axe to, I don't have a thing to stand on when it comes to this. Mix my metaphors as usual. I want to quickly say, Rishi, and this goes back to all the people I've grown up with. I think except for the Parsi community, everybody else seems to have this problem of keeping doors open everywhere. They just don't shut doors. They don't believe in shutting doors. Now, in our IVM studio, I come a little early. I come closer to like 8:45 to do some writing for some stupid show that nobody should ever see. And I go into one room and I sit there and I do my work. And I must tell you that Rishi comes into the room, but he never shuts the door behind him. Now, I'm trained to shut doors. Wherever I go, I shut doors. I shut doors, I shut the switches. Mind you, I put on all the lights and switches and the AC on 16. Of course, I've been there. But then I put everything off when I leave. Everything is off. Everything is back in place. But Rishi, he comes in like it's an ashram. He's well named, Rishi. It's just an open ashram for everyone. Let's all just hang out, spread your legs. Kumbaya, my lord, whatever, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. We're all good friends. Hold hands. I gotta say, we gotta stop this, bro. There's a thing called shut the friggin' door. Why do Indians not shut doors? I had this problem when I first met Kunal Vijayekar and started living in his house a little bit. His door would be left open. His father would walk in a lungi while we were having a conversation about women and stuff. And what's going on? People just keep walking in. Parsi households, it can never happen. We shut doors. Then you knock on the door. Then you enter. That's how it works. A lesson for the day, Rishi. This is off my chest. Now let me welcome the two not late guests. Niv, who's part of the IVM fraternity now, whether she likes it or not.
Yep.
And I hope she likes it.
And Amit, who's hired her. So hence the profound question.
Yeah, I better do well today.
Yeah.
Amit will have like my little voodoo doll in his house and throw it in the fireplace.
Although now you look like a voodoo doll to us anyway, in a sense, because you're so young and there's no fat on this person whatsoever. We are missing our fourth though. Our fourth is going to be here in a couple of minutes.
Punit,
all of them. You're right. It could be a World Cup. You're
it could be anybody. Let's
Cup.
just see who comes in, right? I mean, it could be anybody. You never know.
Only Akash we could excuse because he got married finally. So,
that is
true. Let him off the hook for a week. Yes. Yeah. But the only person who's on time, Rishi, Sparsh and me. So I'm feeling the show should be Rishi, Sparsh and me. Because the three of us are always here. Of course, I'll have to lock the door once he gets in and then make sure the key stays with me. Because I can't. Can you explain? Do you do that? Are you from a home where doors are open?
It's a very Indian thing actually. Only the Parsis, I'm guessing, shut doors because everybody else leave doors open.
Right. I shut doors like obsessively. I don't want anybody surprising me.
It's a very Western thing because Indian households usually, they tell you to leave the door open.
Sorry, we had to open the door for Punit to come in. Sorry about that. I didn't want to sound like a hypocrite. Punit is joining us in a second. Sorry.
No worries. Let's see Punit's face.
You both are half Western in the sense you grew up in Africa, in Kenya. He's done a lot of time in America. Sounds like jail. So you're slightly influenced by other cultures, is what I'm saying.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. It was still a very Indian community, even in Kenya. Yeah.
So were your doors open
we're
or shut?
Super Indian when we're outside of the country, aren't we? Like we have.
That's true.
Our melas are so.
The young bird is wise. You cling to your Indianness. Maybe everybody clings to their foreignness wherever they are.
I'm the only non-NRI in the podcast today.
Oh, I'm not an NRI, Baba.
You're halfway there.
No. We are paying advance tax. Only my community pays advance tax on time. We call up and we sweat about it.
South Mumbai almost there, no?
Do you know about advance tax, my Sindhi friend? Have you heard this term?
I'm not in the bracket right now.
Right. When were you ever in the bracket, Mr. Adani?
When I had a job, there's no escaping it.
Yeah,
but,
that's true. You missed the job?
Yeah, sometimes.
So you did good advice for Niv. Niv has just joined.
I wanted this job. Listen, I'm very happy I have this job. It gives me structure to my life.
She's speaking in front of the person who hired her, not me and you.
I like the fact that IVM is a very high security facility. Like every time it takes me 5 minutes to get inside. And there's no procedure, just you keep banging till one guy listens.
What are you saying? For me, all the doors are open everywhere.
You were at this station at
experiences.
9:59. You are at the station.
No,
At 10:54. At 10:06, you are now banging on the door for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Station has got teleportation capabilities.
It's 54. I got all the logs.
Due respect to the Sindhi community who are part of my family, I must tell you, Gujaratis are better with numbers. I have to tell you right now, off the bat. We have data. Okay,
I'm an entrepreneur who's not paid tax for 3 years. So
yeah, we expose you. 59 पे station पे खड़ा है और 10:01 you're outside.
all right, time to take out the logs.
We-
And also at the same time follow
This
up
show
for
is
payments
reduced
which
to
are not
people
coming
calling
for
each other liars.
It's also a good time, Cyrus, to follow up for my payments which are not coming for 3 months.
Listen, you're not Manish Sisodia. What's going on here, guys? We don't have to do a pushtaj at the moment over this.
55.
Yeah. 9:55. He's shown the listener and viewer, he's shown.
But nothing
your
like
audio
waking
we
up
can't
to the sweat of multiple men in the morning. It really wakes you up.
have. Back on the train. Punit, make sure that every day is a train journey for all who haven't had one. Please go ahead, Punit.
It's like you thought you were awake in life, but you're not awake until 4 men have rubbed this against you without your consent.
Is that why you guys go to the gym so much?
No, this is not gym. This is much better than gym. This is cardio at its very best, and you don't even move actually. You just stay where you are. Punit,
Huh? Yes, yeah.
will you miss it when you become a multimillionaire?
I'll go sometimes.
I think
like,
just conditioning will say
with the
warrant-
mask on.
Yeah.
With the mask on.
But you know what I think? I think men have shamed themselves into not being physically affectionate with each other because you become very affectionate when you're in sports together or when you're doing things. And you know, where people don't have the context
collective.
of homosexuality, people are very comfortable with their
But I
bodies
do everything
around
with a
each
group
other.
of people. It's almost like an orgy without
But
sex.
do you hug your guy friends? a lot?
When I used to drink, I hugged a lot. People used to
Yeah,
run
you
away
have to
from
be
me.
drunk for it. In my
But-
class in Coimbatore, like people used
You
to
were
hug each
drinking
other
in
all the
class?
time.
Coimbatore
They used to
is the
hug-
place to be,
No,
man.
they used to,
Six-
they used to hug
6-year-olds.
sober. They didn't have to drink. They were just like sober and they would hold hands and hug and kiss each other on the cheek.
I think you're missing something.
Were they in dance class?
I'm just saying that they don't have the fear of some
No, I
people
get
are
you,
gonna call
Bob.
us.
I agree totally. I think we need to do more
Feminine.
bonding in that sense, and we didn't do that. Like Spurs is
Yeah.
very isolated. I feel if you look at him, he doesn't seem to. I've never seen him hug. Spurs is never. He's not a hugger. Rishi's a hugger. Rishi also leaves the door open wherever he goes, so he gets hugged a lot. People don't know why he's there. He could just walk into your house. You have no idea. Rishi's there standing behind. He's like that guy you don't know. Sir, aap kaun hai? I don't know.
There are some tree huggers also, Cyrus, in RA.
Oh yes, please. They're still hugging, bichara. The trees have gone, but they're still there, holding the position. Yeah.
I never got that. Like, I know you like nature and all, but do you really feel something when you hug a tree?
Well, the tree is like, it's like it represents everything else, the flora and fauna. So it's more like that. It's like you kill my grandfather, you're killing all of us. It's like that in that sense. Although my grandfather
so
was mistaken for a
representative
tree, so that makes sense. He didn't move much, that guy. Sweet guy though. I never met him. Don't know. Can make jokes. Back to the train. Please tell us more.
No, actually, I got in. I think my technique I've perfected over a decade now. So I can get in just at the right time. Then you're through.
I think your biopic will be called Aage Se Dabao or something. I'm just trying to think what would be the right line. Because his whole experience is that only. Aap piche se aage se karo ek baar
I
ho raha,
think
theek hai, dobara.
Naveen has taken that already.
Mr. Rao, aapki bari. I don't know what's the normal conversation when you're on the trains. It'll have to be something like that, right? Because this is, by the way, this is not any homosexist sort of conversation or homophobic conversation. This is the way it is, right?
Homosexist, is that a thing?
It is now.
First thing I've heard of it.
Let's call dibs on it.
It's
Okay, let's spend 5 minutes arguing the point. Why not? The shows.
Yeah, listen, we're looking for new T-shirt designs. There we
you
go.
go. And I will get Naveen's approval every time. So we have to get a person who represents whatever that thing is, and then we're good. Okay? If he says okay, we're okay. If he says not okay, it's not okay. Unless, Punit, you have friends in the train you want to go into, and then,
No, there are no
pun
friends.
intended.
It's like, unless you're part of a group, like if you're part of the Bhajan Mandali.
So what are you saying? They're worse than an audience for comedy.
Yeah.
Their lack of respect. She was telling us, I don't know if you experienced this, because I think you guys have already, by the time you guys started, it was a different way, and now they've got this sort of process where, just explain it, you have to bring a friend.
Oh yeah, for open mic, so you have to bring a plus one. Punit has done it, I'm sure.
Just
Like
to
he's
reinforce-
He's not done it, he's the producer, so
Yeah,
he's
he's the
making you do it,
producer.
as far as I know.
He's made someone else do it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
so when we started, we were getting audience organically because I was still new at that time. And then slowly the audience started dwindling out because there are too many shows happening.
So it's your fault. Sorry.
Yeah. So we stopped after that because the only way to do a show was to get the comics to get a +1 and then pay for the tickets also. So I'm like,
Well, open mics are tough, right? I mean, like even a
How do you break
curated
even?
show with lesser known comics, I think, is more likely to be enjoyable than open mics is too hit and miss. I mean, like,
but isn't that the fun? That's why you.
Well, I mean, like,
watching
open mics
American
are a
Idol.
lot of fun.
Indian Idol.
If you don't pay money for it.
American Idol, Indian Idol, all these things. I like to watch the mixed bag.
I
don't know.
hear
Once
you.
they have a standard act, I don't like watching.
You're assuming that they're at least coherent. They're not.
But that's fun.
It doesn't make any sense.
not,
It's
man.
not even a bad
Guys.
attempt.
So when I first started this IVM thing,
I like-
right, at that point in time, I was very that I must go and watch comics. I must see what they're like in person, etc., etc. And I went for a few open mics, and it was like, again, there are some people who are good over there. It's a mixed bag is exactly what you describe it as.
Yeah.
Right? But some of the stuff is just
You're not going to get polished acts. Dave Chappelle is not performing there right
I
now.
understand
But
that.
young Dave Chappelle, you can see a little bit here
I
and there.
understand that,
worse.
but I'd rather go for a show organized by Punit where he has said that, okay, this guy might be a Dave Chappelle, rather than make that kind of this. Because again, you know that there are so many people who want
But
to
isn't
do
it
this.
fun judging in competitions and all that in colleges and all this really bad talent? That's the only time I'm awake. Otherwise, you just sit through it. You know, the mediocre middle of the line guy is so boring after
No,
some time.
some of these are so bad that even Ironius died in that show.
No, but I'll tell you what, because they're so bad, sometimes it's so good. Because there's this one 18-year-old I saw at an open mic once who said, "Main mard hoon, main samjhaun aapko," or something, and then he took his shirt off on the stage.
But then
he
you take the
wasn't
pant off.
confident.
The whole point is murder. You take the pant off. Shirt is not anything. I mean, biology, simple ABC of biology. You take off the pant and say, "Boss, this is why I'm a murder," or not.
So,
Sorry, and
No, but it
people are-
looked really funny because he wasn't confident when he was doing it. He tried
why
to
was he
be-
doing that?
I think that was his act, but it was the first time he was going
I would
on
have loved
stage,
this act.
so he didn't know.
Because it's pointless. You don't know what he's doing. It's so much fun.
It is.
So I had a guy, I remember in, was it Khalsa? One of these colleges, I had this guy performing and we had to judge, 2-3 of us had to judge. I think one was a singer was with me, like Shekhar or Vishal or something. We were judging the contest and the guy, he was doing a joke, which is a formal joke. I know you hate those, the formal, like two guys enter a bar joke, which out of context makes no sense. It's almost like I got nowhere to go, I'll segue to this. So he's doing the joke, and then he actually says, "Hey guys, I forgot the punch." Whole place broke down with laughter. I mean, it was funnier than a punch could have ever been. But that's beautiful. I mean, that's gold. We both woke up looking at, wow, that was just a funny moment. I remember it now. Can't remember a thing about that. Not another thing I can't tell you a thing, but I remember that.
That's a good point. I think the most memorable show I have ever seen, like from a music perspective, was an absolute, like, it was just a disaster
Names.
after a disaster.
Names.
A local band in the US when I was in college.
That must be the E Street Band, Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah, hey, they were kind of local in New Jersey.
They all start local, brother.
No, but I mean, I had gone for a show. So basically, same open mic concept, right? It was basically, so what they have is, I used to live on this street called Continental Street. And
Which is now a hotel. No, go on.
Well, I don't think it's a hotel yet. It's all college housing. But basically, we did. So there was a festival organized by the street folks, right? Basically, all the people who lived on the street organized a music festival called the Monumental Continental Fest.
Wow.
Yeah, it was stupid and it was college and shit, right? But I mean, like,
White man rapping. Monumental Continental.
There was some of that too, actually. There was a band called, so again, in these guys were really new at that. Like, the idea of rock rap was very this. So there was a band back then, or a couple of bands back then, which did that kind of thing.
What's rock rap?
I mean, like,
Mix.
rap with like instruments behind
Elements
it
of
rather
rock.
than.
I think that's the safety card. I'm not really a rapper. I'll quickly go back to rock. Two lines of
311, Rage Against the Machine.
Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit.
How dare you? I'm 51. These things happen. Punit, how dare you, yaar? Teri samay aayega, bhai.
But Limp Bizkit was around your time, right?
Yes, exactly this time. You hit the time right, bro. I'm not popular on the train.
Limp Bizkit was a little late, I think. I mean, like,
See what you've done? You awakened the dragon. Now he'll find out the exact point.
No, I
of
know.
your-
I know
Late,
what.
late 90s. Late 90s.
But finish the
No, so, but
late
I mean,
90s, early 90s.
So there were these bands which, so basically all these guys wanted to play, and there were some bands which were people who lived on the street, and they're like, yeah, we'll play with our band. And this shit was awful, right? I mean, like, they tried to do like some mix of polka music, and like, it was just weird. It was polka and hip hop and rock, and it was awful. It was just
Could they play the
I think
instruments at least?
music is a tougher one. If they're just coming and singing like an Indian Idol, that's fine because they've got 30 seconds, 1 minute, and then you can take a break. But if they're doing a rock thingy and goes on for 3-4 minutes, then you're trapped.
Yeah.
It's like being at a wedding with bad
Imagine they've
music.
taken in half an hour to tune the instruments and then they sing this badly.
That's only in India. In India, the tuning, you're absolutely right. The tuning, the sound checks are longer than the concert. I've never understood why. Just give me C, give me C, give me C, give me C. No, more reverb, more. It just goes on. If you're stuck there, that's torture. I'm not talking about Sparsh, who's still an upcoming musician. Yeah.
This is because you're there early, right? During the time of the show.
This is because they don't have a room for the host.
Yeah.
You know, when you do cheap shows all your life, and they say, "Broja, come, no, gabar jayega," and all this, that. So you come there, you're way too early, and they have you're the only guy with nothing to do till they start. What does a host do? You have nothing to do. Everybody else can tune them because they have proper acts, everyone. Or they have looks and you got to get into makeup or they're doing the set or, they're putting the mics on. What the hell? The host is the one joker. Even the watchman does more work than the host. I'm convinced host should not be paid. Really. Who's the host for today?
Me.
Oh. Okay, before you start,
it's my second
there's a Liverpool. I just want to quickly take that Liverpool question if Rishi can pull it out of his hat.
Is that the...
we lost yesterday.
So that was the loss.
I haven't slept because there was crying. I think 16 minutes, the first goal against.
In town?
Yes, Mikhail's in town and the whole of Skylark building heard it. And then I think 56 minutes, the second half, that is the second goal, which almost sealed it. And by the time Salah got a consolation goal towards the 4-5 minutes before the end of the game, this is the worst start Liverpool's had ever in our history in the last 10-15 years. And Man U, who were looking dead, are revived with this one thing. So they got 3 points from 3 games, 2 losses.
Okay.
And we have only 2. I'm saying we now because I don't identify myself as an Indian anymore. I've followed my son's lead. The son has become the father. But it was very painful. I can't believe this. They always start well, bro. Punit, what's going to happen? This is like train rides and just going nowhere.
I wish I could empathize Cyrus, but I got to go back home in a train again. So
sorry. and not your train to Liverpool also. Train to?
Bullet train.
A bullet train. Aega. Government promises. Don't worry. Now let's go back to our host. Before
Niveditha, do you have to?
I am the
reluctant host.
I do have...
The reluctant host.
I am reluctant. I feel like this is not my calling, but Andrew Tate got banned from all of social media.
Why?
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok for violating policies. He was too misogynistic, apparently.
Now they find out.
They found out now.
Yeah, following on that.
Yeah.
What did he do? Give me an example.
So that's what I read all the links and I could not find anything that he did on social media.
Hitting.
No, he's done all this old stuff, right? He's
getting women to get him drinks and all, but it's all on the line, of being cheeky.
No, he's basically on this opinion that, the men's rights activist opinion that women have gone out of hand and we need to put them in their place.
No, he goes into areas like
sort of
men have to fight wars, men have to fight for whatever, so that two sexes and genders
and the
have
whole
a separate,
masculine thing that everybody is losing
toxic
their masculinity
and all that.
And
he's one of
people
those
are
guys.
becoming he's one of those
But they won't
guys.
ban him for that. It's more the chauvinism that comes with it. You extend it.
It's the word misogyny was used and TikTok used it, right? That we do not promote that we will not allow misogyny.
And the fact that a TikTok is such a small word and sounds like a child breathing has a word like misogyny, which I can't even pronounce properly. I mean, that only is boggling the mind.
So TikTok said only surveillance, no misogyny.
Yeah. but one second, he'll do a Trump, right? He can just start his own network of sorts.
He will. There are enough men out there.
Yeah. He's got big following, so
yeah, of course he's got a big following. It's a popular idea that that men are losing their...
talk about popular ideas. We have governments built on popular ideas in India as we speak, Yeah,
there's an entire movement called Men Going Their Own Way. MGTOW.
It's called being gay.
Yeah.
Been there for a long time.
What is the movement though?
So it's all men who have given up on relationships.
Punit is all about movement.
Wow.
It all comes back to the train, when you think about it. Your philosophy.
That's all the people. There are people in Japan who just
Wait, there's more. Now we've touched the surface of something bitter. Let the poet speak. The angst will come out. The rage.
These are men who feel that the entire dating circuit is a scam and it is all the odds are piled against them. So they work on self-improvement. Like they'll work out. They'll do the other life goals, but all
But they abandon social contract.
Yeah. So they say we're not going to fall for dating.
So they go to prostitutes or things. What do they do for the?
One can only hope they are, because otherwise it's crime, no?
No. Do they isolate and become brahmacharya type of guys, or I don't get it.
I mean, they'll have friends, but they will not woo women. That's the thing.
They have anger, and they basically
I got that.
they just basically feed on that anger, and they get themselves angrier and getting angrier, then they'll start
I
becoming
should
even
have
more
thought of
angry.
this. I just got frustrated.
And they say they channel it into their upskilling themselves, working
So
out.
it's like a divorce when you channelize your thing into the work and you become really successful and that kind of thing.
And
a loser at love becomes a super success at TikTok, for example. Sparsh, there's hope, beta. There's hope. Sparsh's parents are coming to visit us next week, by the way.
Oh.
Big fans of the show. Yeah. Next to next week.
It's like a PTA meeting.
Yeah. It might be a telling off. Hey, mera beta ko kya bola? I don't know. I have to be a little careful. They might find out later.
All parents are big fans of the show.
What are you saying?
Yeah, my parents watch. My mom watches it.
Wow.
Sometimes.
Amit, we're talking to the wrong audience.
Well,
Now, ladies and gentlemen.
well, apparently we need more panelists so more parents can start watching, I guess is what our
What happened to my train crowd? Pulling the train crowd. Train crowd's not coming on.
Train crowd is watching Z News right now, so and getting angrier.
All right. It's 10:21 and I think we haven't done a topic. We have.
Wow, I
Andrew
cannot.
Tate.
Yeah, Andrew Tate. But then let's go to the next topic.
Yes.
Burger King.
Can I? My friend
Burger
Savan
King.
called him Andrew Tate. Huh? First time he read it.
Yeah, that does sound pretty accurate.
It's possible,
though.
like you don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
It's an
Maharashtrian
Indian
You don't
great
know.
Yeah,
That's what
We should have
happens.
taken digs at Maharashtrians. What is he saying? Tate is a typical Maharashtrian name he's saying. Huh?
I used to do that when I used to read Tinkle when I was a kid, but I was not.
Tinkle,
here in
you
India.
mean? If you're drinking Marathi, then it's
No,
Tinkle.
Tinkle. Everybody said it as Tinkle. But there was a story, Tantri the Mantri, and I didn't know what Mantri was. So I just thought it was Tantri the Mantri.
How
And I
blessed.
said that for like until I was.
How blessed
Until I was
was she
13.
to live in our country and not know the meaning of mantri? I mean, that's beautiful. What a beautiful thought that is. May you have remained that pure. Yeah.
It was horrible.
Hey, one sec, before we go, let's take one. Some of these are so funny. The one to Punit, yeah. Rishi, you took it out. No, I have no idea how to bring it back.
Oh no.
Puneet, do you take
What
the
was it?
Borivali return train or take an auto from Thakur Complex to reach Borivali station? I don't think it's humanly possible to board a Churchgate train at Kandivali during the rush.
Oh, you need the right technique, dude. This is perfected over decades.
This is a video that you have to make, bro. Get someone to follow you. This is a video where non-Mumbaikars won't understand the ridiculousness of this question being accurate. That's the problem.
So I remember I did this when I used to come to Goregaon film shooting way back when, right? Closest station was Grant Road. I would go to Churchgate and then from there I would take a fast to this.
But you're against traffic, no? You're traveling
you didn't
into
get-
Goregaon morning time.
You don't get fast trains at Grant Road in the morning,
You
right?
don't get any trains at Grant Road. You just take it's a lottery. You get.
No, I mean like it's only the slow trains stop, right? So you'd go
And
back
for
to
us, it was a
Churchgate and then
nightmare,
take
no?
a
Because
fast
that's the
bus.
closest station to
It
Malabar
is.
Hill.
Yep.
And that, if no cab wants to take you, the walk is, oh my
Awful.
God.
Yeah.
Because it's all uphill.
Yeah.
It's literally all uphill. It's not just uphill at Malabar Hill. It's uphill from the time you leave the station. Oh, man.
good for your calf muscles,
How
though.
we suffer being rich. No. Calf muscles won't get out of it.
But to answer the question, I stay close to the station, so there's like an advantage and a disadvantage. So I don't need to take an
What's the
auto.
disadvantage?
Disadvantage is
Doesn't have to
Noise?
take the auto, but yes,
no, you never move out from there. It's too comfortable being there, and I never bought a vehicle because of that, because it's right there. And it's
But do you know how to drive?
Again, coincidentally, Sindhi, and please, I'm not communal. I just love making fun of my communities around me. One of my closest friends, Vikram, his dad, not there anymore, of course, lovely guy. He used to take the train to the factory in Thane every day, all his life. They're millionaires. Bro, you can ask Amit, the guys who live in our
makes
area,
sense.
they're not poor, but I mean, they're rich.
Yeah.
Honestly,
But it didn't make sense to him to
Yeah.
keep a car and a driver, whatever. He just refused to. I really respect that. Right till the end, that's his way of modus operandi. He said, screw you. I mean, we worth 1,000 crores. I don't give a damn. This is how I'm going. And he came home faster and he left faster. If you look at the maths of the day, the
Correct.
week, and the year, as he pointed it out.
Yep. No, it is honestly. If you for us where we live, Grant Road is very uncomfortable to get to. Right. I've done this math. The car station is very close to us. Right. I would. It would have been easy enough if the train station was close to us. And again, we're against traffic, so it's not like
Close
that
and an
jam.
easy access if it's a walk.
Yeah,
Also,
but-
the walk, the two dimensions to that. I hate bad walks.
So car to office is very close. Grant Road to home or Churney Road to home, it basically means that I'm not saving any time by taking a train, right? So if you're not saving time, you're not saving money.
In
What's
the beginning,
point?
you were attacking him for saying that the car station to the office is not close.
I am-
And now you're saying close. As his lawyer, I have to say that this is Exhibit A.
It's close. It's just not like
Close-ish.
40 seconds away.
Yeah.
Also, there's no skywalk here. So
No, but yeah, the point is, save your skywalk for your, when you've got a proper audience in front of you, because we can't spiral into all the gags that follow. But I'm just saying that some people, they're so blessed with not having an image issue. I feel really bad for those who do. Sparsh will understand, it's called the rally mentality. That you have the dikhawat and all. I mean, it's so unnecessary sometimes. You see a guy, he's a millionaire, he's done really well in life, and he's got the best of everything, but he doesn't want to waste his time. It's just stupid and facile to waste your life with a car and driver going to a place which is inaccessible. Right or no? I mean, so you got to respect that, bro.
You know what? Especially when we have a double-decker bus that's coming.
Great
An
segue.
electric bus.
Shreyas moment.
Another
She waited
double-decker
like a
bus.
predator, and she sprung. She caught
But the
deer.
time was right.
Well done.
I'm learning the ways of my
Punit is
senpai
giving a clap.
Shreyas.
He never claps for other comedians. In fact, from what I gather, he doesn't even pay them after the show.
That's how surprising it is when I get something right.
I know.
No, except when I'm producing the show, then I'm clapping at the back.
I
start the applause.
You start the applause. Nothing wrong with that. It's a business end of the day. What the hell, yaar? Huh?
So yeah, we have a air-conditioned double-decker
Wow.
electric bus. I'm not sure how far this is going to work.
That's always
how
a
long
problem
can it
with
go?
flatulence and all that. I'm a little worried for long distance buses. You can't escape it, man. It's like in a plane when somebody pulls a fast one. Oh my God, bro. What are you going to do?
But
Land the
like,
plane?
there's a lot of farts that don't stink, though. It's only those quiet ones that you hold in for a long time.
That's stereotype. I've never met this person who doesn't stink.
No, the loud ones do not smell.
What? Where do you get this correlation? You've done data on this.
It's just
Hours and hours
This
spent.
is classic content for this podcast.
because I'll tell you why. The old people in my family.
Now old is happening.
Wait, listen. I'm
we're
serious.
going
Like,
there.
they do not have any shame over farts. They just fart very loudly when everyone is present, and they act like nothing happened.
Does
It's
that
amazing.
come
I
under
want
body
that confidence.
positivity or not?
That's what you're getting
It
out
is
of it.
kind of, isn't it?
I'm getting something else. She's saying old people in her family, they are younger than me. So I don't know what to say now. But there's something in that also. As you get older, you become more shameless.
You don't care.
Yeah, you just don't care.
I love it.
That's absolutely correct.
I want to have 80-year-old energy now because my grandma does not care about anything. You know, there's this thing in Tamil Nadu where Tamil old ladies cannot come before their sons-in-law.
Andrew
because-
Tate. Andrew Tate, where are you? Andrew Tate Subramaniam. Full name.
So it's so funny because if my grandma is in one of our houses, she doesn't come before the men in the family. She just run inside the room every time they come in.
Wow.
She wouldn't even look them in the eye.
Opposite to all other cultures where you see the mother-in-law and you run. Amazing. Yeah.
So how do they communicate? Like just shout over each other?
No, they don't talk to each other
what-
at
all?
all.
What's
So
the
a
story
mother-in-law
there?
does not talk
what's
to a
the story?
son-in-law.
Yeah, because apparently back in the day, the mothers-in-law used to be almost the same age as the son-in-law.
Oh.
I feel like that might be the reasoning behind this.
So, son-in-law kabhi bahut hi doesn't work. That's not going to translate well. Yeah. No, just tell me, is there a philosophy? Is honest, like, if there's a serious thought in that, what is the thought?
The thought is that like most men used to be extremely old and they used to marry much younger women. So the woman,
Naughty,
the
temptation.
mother of the woman was usually much closer to the age of the man
Wow.
than the wife.
That's
Men think of
interesting.
everything. It was such a good world in the old days, Andrew. Andrew bhai. Kya hai? Ghumaiga you, Andrew bhai. Come back.
And
But
this is another-
not everyone did this. My grandma was pretty militant about it, but there were other older ladies
Right.
who used to talk to
Not-
their. Yeah.
Sometimes the shame of the way males have dominated the world, the things they've done. We have no face to show, man. It's just ridiculous.
This is I've never heard this before. This is crazy.
Oh, it's obviously correct. I mean,
No, I'm sure it's
long
this
standing.
is saying
another
it's a
tradition
family,
where
right? So-
No, it makes sense because when you marry with a 15-20 year difference, you're obviously going to,
No, even in the current generation, I think here in the north you have the thing where the woman's family cannot come to
But in
visit.
the north, nobody knows the birth
Hey,
certificate.
you
So it's
can't say
different.
here in the north. We are in the west.
All right, so even in the
This
north,
is
like a
offensive
lot
as
of
a
North
Mumbai
Indians
guy
live
to be
here,
called the North
and
Indian.
they tell us that like their parents cannot come to visit and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I would
Oh,
think.
no, so there is a thing about that, right? That North Indian families, they will not go and stay at a daughter's house.
Yeah,
They will go and
basically.
stay, like a married daughter's house, they won't go and stay there.
Oh, never ever.
And
So
what would be
even
the
in my
philosophy?
family, there is
So
a
what is
little
the
bit
philosophy?
of that. No, basically that there should be no. I think it's just that basically no confusion. You are now part of that family, not our family. I really think that's what it is, right? Because I know that my uncle does that.
As a
And
as,
it's
I have an
as a
uncle.
The
daughter's
daughter
family,
has
you have to always give, never take.
Yeah,
That's it.
basically.
Yeah, it's weirdness
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
because you've given your daughter to another family,
Man, why do you
and
tell
now
me all
you.
this before I
And
got
he's
married? I've
doing-
not applied any of these principles of science.
No, it's like he's gracious enough to accept your daughter. He's doing you a fucking favor.
Oh, yeah, of course
So
he
now
is.
even if there's a storm outside, you're gonna die
Top 5
there.
Indian men of all time. Father-in-law. Hey, sir, तूने क्या किया? Vikas.
This happened in my family once, and I was just shocked. Right, there was a wedding. So we have have some family who lives in suburbs, some family who lives in town. There was a wedding which was supposed to be in town, and one of my cousins has an extra bedroom, and I was just like, why don't we just ask uncle to come and stay at your house?
Yeah.
And she was like, I would love to, but he will not. He will not stay at our house.
Would he
no
give the
matter what.
reason?
No, he will not stay at our house. This is like, they've been married for like 20 years now, right? So he's like, he will not stay. He will come home, and even if it is 1 o'clock in the morning and there's an empty room sitting over there and there is no taxi available, we have to go and drop him off rather than him staying back.
This explains why Akash had the free rooms in the Taj. All the elder male relatives scooted. They weren't comfortable. Hence, Punit and all took the affair into their own hands, and next thing we know, Punit, did you have the breakfast that comes free with the room?
Yes, but it was a Gujju breakfast.
Oh, right, you told us.
Yeah. So it was a little odd.
No, you already said but, so the government's after you.
Do you not like
Once
a
you say
Gujju
but,
breakfast?
clearly,
Breakfast
but
is
came
really
in the
nice.
middle.
It's fine, but you expect more from a Taj breakfast.
Is it?
Wow.
So what was it?
So
Thepla,
Gujju breakfast should
dokla?
not be a Taj breakfast. Ouch.
First, it's,
Amit,
it's
speak back.
completely veg, which is fine because I'm also veg. But then there were like dhoklas and fafadas for breakfast.
You're like a racist amongst the veg people. Funny own issues here.
You know what? That's a huge thing, though. Like, yeah, people who eat
called
meat are like,
taste.
what losers about vegetarians? Like,
No, I
vegetarians
struggle
are looked
now.
down upon.
I don't like veg
A lot.
food, and two, I struggle because I can't eat the carbs. I have to be careful with carbs. So
But,
for me,
but
it's
in all
unfair.
these sort of breakfast spreads, it's so weird. They have pav bhaji sometimes. They'll have
Yeah.
puri bhaji. They have noodles
But
in
I
the
tell
morning.
you, all five-star hotels mix and match. So that is true. And only we have that palate. If you watch other people, other cultures, they don't mix the palates, really. But we can do that. You can actually have an Indian guy will sit there. He'll have a puri bhaji and he'll have a scrambled egg and he'll have everything in one plate.
all in
you
the
know.
same place.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, five-star hotels have the worst dosas. Dosa is just
you're
so
right.
bad.
You're right.
They taste like cardboard.
No, but I think they don't, for some reason,
No, they're
once you
awful.
go up the class, you lose the dosa.
Yeah.
That's my belief.
I just
hate to
don't
say
understand.
This.
It's
a
so
reverse
easy.
class comment and I shouldn't
Sev
say
puri
this.
at Sea Lounge.
I
Only
think there's
good.
a-
No,
there's
that's
a
the
missing
only good
ingredient.
snack that I've had.
No. Which,
Sev puri at
I
Sea
have
Lounge.
to
Not
check this
bhel,
out. I have to check
not
this
pav
out.
bhaji, sev
I made
puri.
Kunal
Where?
pay £6
Sea
for a
Lounge.
bhel puri in London in
Oh.
2017.
At the Taj.
It was horrible.
Oh.
I couldn't believe he did that. I mean, that was talking about, reparations from England and all. That was just all bad. £6 for the, at first there were five sev puris, puris, not six. Generally you get six. There were
You
five.
should get 6, yeah.
Yeah, the Europeans attack. Well, they're not Europeans. They're
It's a
British.
metric system.
Yeah. Rishi Sunak, he was finance minister. I blame him. Has to be him. I point my finger at that guy.
But did you ever travel by a bus of any kind? Like, forget double decker.
106
Yeah.
to my house.
Ah.
And Smita, Renu, Ambo, or Shalini had to pay. The other male with the Neeraj coach
Why
was cheaper
are
than
you
I-
asking? Have you ever traveled by bus? Just generally for Cyrus.
Yeah, because of a double decker topic.
No, we didn't get too many 106 double deckers. There were a lot of
No, but
singles.
you must have gone to school in bus sometimes.
No, those buses don't count. Those are
no,
but
like
they're
the-
red.
no, the red
same,
bus.
same
The
buses.
red
Yeah,
ones.
No, no.
And I went without paying the. So I've done crimes.
Okay.
I didn't
No,
pay the
I-
bus
I-
fare. What lovely times we had. Now, so depending on which friends were going, I could take the Nepean Sea Road bus or the Malabar Hill bus,
Ah.
and I could go with them. More coming back than going. Going, I would go with my dad mostly because he was go to office around the same
Correct,
time by
right.
car. Coming back, I'd go with. But nobody checked.
Yeah.
I was telling my kids one day. Now they make us. Send a message and all that. The kid has reached. And
No, but so
the
you did school
marshals-
bus only. You didn't do BST bus to
Red
school.
coloured bus, BST bus.
No, but no, it was not BST bus. It was contracted by the school.
Contracted. The same bus was now a freelancer at whatever the time was, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And they threw public out. आप लोग बहुत गरीब है. Get out. अभी बड़े लोग के बच्चे का time है. Come on. And then all the kids in my class, Rocky, Bunty, aja. All have 5 names between them. Yeah.
All right, it's time
Interesting.
for.
But you could do that. Could you believe that? We could walk into any bus. I mean, they had bus IDs, but nobody looked at it. You never showed your ID to anyone.
Simpler.
But don't you
times.
have bus friends? Like in this bus that you've been
So I
traveling
had bus
in?
5 and bus 4. So one was an Nepean Sea Road loading bus. So I'd have to walk up the hill. But sometimes those friends were better for passing time. Or we were going to somebody's house from there.
So you could
But
choose.
everybody did it. I mean, this was not jugaad in that sense.
No,
Everybody
I know,
did it.
yeah, you
I
took-
could go to
no.
Wally if I wanted to. They wouldn't give a damn. I had one friend, Neeraj Shah. He was the last
did,
stop.
Yeah, I did that once. I had to get permission to do that once, but yeah, I did that once.
You did?
Well,
They
I
actually
went to-
cared?
Yeah, I went into the. Yeah, they did. So I actually used.
I thought they replaced
BST
you if you got
buses.
kidnapped in 2 minutes in the old days. ठीक है, एक और बच्चा को ला. That's it.
I use BST buses more because the frequency was higher.
Amit is telling you his struggle.
It's not struggle. It was convenience. It was more higher frequency because we got 63, 104, 122. All get to the same. So there were 3 buses that all went from my school to my house, and the school bus stop was the same. This was the same because you know where I live. I live in like that little gully, right?
Yeah.
So no buses coming
Nothing
in there.
will go there.
So they're dropping me off at Shantinagar anyway, right? So
Yeah.
then I might as well just use a BST bus, no?
I can't believe the show has become about routes. roots. People are listening. I woke up early morning. First guy talks about Burili. Next guy about Malabar Hills, Shantinanagar. And how the bus can't reach. How do I empathize with this guy?
You know what it
about
means? It means that it's time for a break, and we got to go on it so that we can come back.
Come back and catch the
have
bus,
new topics.
guys. And some guy, Mr. Aditya Raju, has decided to take a shot at me. Anfield has famously told United fans to come back after winning the 18th league title. And you guys have not learned anything. You will always walk alone. Making fun, of course, of the famous song. One match, one swallow doth not a summer make, to quote Iqbal. Okay. Oh, Shakespeare, actually, but also known as Iqbal. Oh, God, really. It's early days. Not looking good, I know, but it's early days. 5 months of bloody football, bro. Come on. It's like Indian governance. It's a long way to go to 2024. No, hung parliament. What hung parliament? I think Namo bats for a third term. That's what I think.
100%.
No.
Yeah, everybody said he'll retire early. They'll give him the Nobel Peace Prize, and then he'll be in Belgium for the rest of his life.
100%. There's no option. I mean, like, there's nobody emerging in the next year and a half who's going to take over.
From the BJP, there is.
Who?
I won't take his name, but it rhymes with Pogi.
You think?
I don't think so.
Pogi is very ambitious, guys. You're not following the script
here. He might be very ambitious, but I think that he is also very...
He knows his place as of now, but which politician doesn't make the move? It's all about opportunism at the right time.
Sure, but I think that a lot of people who kind of have gone BJP would not go Yogi.
That's another argument.
Yeah, I don't think he wins, right? Basically, that's the point.
Remember we discussed how he's put himself in all the papers, the vernacular papers of the country, south, east. He's gone all over there. Why is he all over there? He has no presence there.
Because he has got ambition.
He's got ambition. He wants what's it called? The pan-India presence that this podcast has. And every city of India listens to our podcast. We have one listener.
That's true, though.
In every district.
A lot of people
that's
from
right.
everywhere.
That's a segue, because if that's a segue, I salute you.
A lot of people from outside. Oh, no, it wasn't. But I do have a segue. Speaking of humble politicians, we have a politician's daughter who was seen slapping a doctor. Now, this is a GK question for you guys.
Okay.
Do you know who the CM of Mizoram is?
The person whose daughter slapped him.
What is the name? Minister Zorantanga.
Let's hear the whole story. Northeastern politics is not as dirty as the rest of India.
That's true.
Generally speaking.
But I feel like this person is specifically that person in the family who you just say, if you get into trouble, I'm not helping you. That guy.
I like the return comment, right? I mean, like his comment on the whole thing, which was like, hey, listen, we have no excuse. We apologize to the doctor. We apologize to the public for the minor.
Now, may I just say for the defense, I have been to some medical practitioners where I've thought, deeply that would it be wrong to raise my hand? I don't know.
Okay, no, but this
I went to a skin specialist who made me sit 4 hours with 40 people, and I just couldn't understand that. I've never understood that.
I will agree with you to this point, right? I think that doctors have the same degree of entitlement that you see in bureaucrats, that you see in judges, that you see...
We can't just give everybody a clean because of the profession is noble and all. No, hello. They're human like us. There's some good guys and there's some bad guys.
I spent 7 years meeting doctors.
Let's not mute anybody.
Why were you meeting doctors?
I used to work in healthcare. No?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
No wonder you're such a basket case. Bro, you've had a really bad time.
What'd you do?
So,
what did you do in healthcare? I want to know.
It was legal at the time I was doing it.
You have a better census. So go ahead.
Wow.
Punit cracked the only joke of the show and you didn't pick it up.
No, I did.
Freebies, right? I mean, you get so many kickbacks. So from the lowest end, you give people like fruit juices, biscuits for the general practitioner.
Oh, you were a rep?
I was in the strategy department, but we would go with the reps from time to time to go and see what's happening on the ground. So
the comedian Chris DiStefano on one of these podcasts, American comedian, spoke about his dad beating up the dean. He was suspended from school for fighting with someone, blah, 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 which is not completely his fault. And then the father goes and apologizes and says, please, sir, let him, reinstate him and don't suspend him, blah, blah. After a long argument, the dean called him stupid, the father. Are you stupid? You don't understand? He's suspended. I don't want to talk about this anymore. So he tells his son, lock the door. It was like mafia moment.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
Chris, lock the door. And then proceeded to give him the worst threat ever. This is like Sicilian mafia at their best, So I'm just saying, again, just because you're a teacher, you got to understand high-handed behavior is high-handed behavior. doctor.
No, but this particular case is really out there. She came without an appointment. The guy refused to meet her, and she just slapped the guy.
Oh yeah, no. Listen.
One second, that doesn't make sense, bro. Really?
It's on camera.
No, that's what you see, but there must have been conversation, no?
It's politician. It's politician entitlement meets doctor entitlement. It's entitlement versus entitlement.
Correct.
Who
I
knows
like that better.
what
I like that better. I can't believe it's so one-sided.
Yeah, who knows where that goes, right? Do you guys see the Dolo news?
Imagine if a doctor gets their hands on me now.
The Dolo news.
Yeah,
What was it?
The news about Dolo.
No.
So apparently, it was the most prescribed medicine during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And they are now being...
Doesn't help with fever.
No. They are basically the amount of kickbacks and stuff like that the people who make Dolo gave is under the scanner. Apparently, 1,000 crore rupees worth plus of giveaways given to all kinds of
Back in
folks
2020,
to ensure subscriptions.
When I told you, when you guys weren't on, but we were talking and nobody was listening, thank God. We discussed this when I tried to get my gym equipment, how I had the jugaad of getting the truck, the towing truck, whatever it's called, the transport truck. And that guy telling me, what are you talking about? Everything can be done because they take money. So I said, they take money also for medical supplies? Of course. So they were bringing in and they were bribing still. They were bribing essential services from time to time just to bring them in.
This is not quite that, but okay.
No, I'm just saying, if you want to look at the human nature, it's majboori being exploited, don't believe it's not. So I'm not saying it's across the board, but it is.
Basically, marketing is, I'm sure Punit knows.
Punit quit it.
In the pharma space is very weird. You're not allowed to advertise directly for most things, right? Yeah. So what you have to do is that you get doctors to prescribe. Yeah. The way you get doctors to prescribe is send them on fancy cruises, send them to like big conferences, which are at super 5-star hotels.
It's the same thing. Come on, it's the same thing. You send me to Singapore for 2 days as somebody else's wife, or you bribe me.
Yeah.
And you made her suffer.
There's something called information asymmetry, in which the end customer, which is the patient, doesn't know nearly enough about healthcare that the doctor does. So the doctor is in a big position with leverage in which he can influence. Same happens with a car salesman, for example. No, you go to buy a car, you act like you know shit, but you don't. And the guy takes you for a ride. It's made.
Literally, they actually take you for a ride to check the car.
So doctor can literally
No, but going back to Amit's point, the Dolo got a very nice push from everybody and it monopolized the market in a sense. So it's not impossible to see how everybody's...
1,000 crores is a big amount.
No, but you know what this is, right? The fundamental problem is that you cannot advertise medicines like Dolo. Dolo is paracetamol. Why the fuck can't you advertise? It's the same as Crocin. It's the same as Duoflam. It's the same as Combiflam.
In Dolo, up to 500 mg you can advertise, which is what Crocin does. And Dolo, the one that we used for the pandemic, was 650, which is a higher dose. Which only the doctor is allowed to prescribe.
Punit, you're like a doctor, you're a cheap doctor. I'll come to you for no problem. How are you with hemorrhoids? Not your
only Sundays.
Sundays. Okay, man, I guess. If it's free, my disease can wait. Nothing is so bad.
No, but there are very weird rules around marketing and pharmaceuticals, right? In terms of what you can and cannot do, how people have to find ways to move around it. Because again, if you're a company, you want to sell your product, right? Sell your product by getting people to know about it. So how do you do that?
In the US, you can advertise, and they have the weirdest pharma ads.
Those are insane.
Oh yeah, someone that lives in the US was telling me how they know more about drugs than anything else. They don't know what's happening in the next state, but they know about 50 different drugs that'll help
Also,
them.
the link is like a syndicate, right? Because your compounder, the pharmacist, the doctor, the test guy, the stuff you buy stuff from in terms of hardware, all those guys are linked together in one group. And, we all make money. If you get a patient, the patient is like a buckler. You get
advertiser in the US. Biggest ad spend, second automobiles. So they're that big.
What about porn?
No advertisement. Product is that good.
Wow. Second Joe's from Pania. Out of the ground, boys. We've got some good moments in the last 2 overs.
But there were some companies, like the local ones in pharma when I used to work, they would give the doctor an entire form and he has to tick what he wants from them. You want a car, you prescribe this much.
In black and white?
Yeah.
Wow. Bro, what are we doing with this podcast? There's got to be some jugaad we can do. Why? Sparsh, you're from Bihar. Help me, yaar. Disappointing boy, yaar.
You want a 1 BHK?
Don't make me go back to Maharashtrians. We've been running it for 10 years and we've got nothing. We need you, beta. We need you. Rishi, don't mind, please. Rishi card nikala. Yosena. But don't know which factions. It's okay. At the moment, we're all walking around in circles. By the way, guys, good news for people living in South Mumbai, because now Ganpati is coming up. Ganpati means more VIP movement. So we have VIP movement plus Ganpati, which is also like VIP movement. So we have 2 VIP movements guaranteed for 10 to 11 days. So wow. If you want to fall sick, this is a good time. So you
But
can
there
stay
aren't
at home.
any restrictions this time, are there?
For Ganpati?
For Ganpati?
No, we live in another
There
world.
wasn't-
Our island is different.
There wasn't a last
Ganpati
year.
is actually better organized than the VIP movement. But what happens is you're stuck. When Ganpati happens, 10-15 minutes, you're stuck at a time. That's the way
Just
it
a
is.
little bit.
Yeah. I'm okay. I'm mentally prepared for that. The thing is, VIP, we're not mentally prepared. You're rushing and suddenly you can't tell what's happening. Then people start guessing. Nakabandi, VIP movement. See, this
So
is
when I used to work at Nariman Point, I always found I got home faster on the last day of Ganpati than I did on any other day.
because they give you 10 minutes of movement
yeah,
and then 10 minutes of shot. Yeah,
10
which
minutes
is.
of movement and 10 minutes of shot. Yeah. And so then
How considerate.
But let me tell you, if you were in Singapore, Ganpati would not last more than 1 minute. They are very clear about traffic. I was rushing to the airport and the driver was telling me, I remember once, sir, if there will be a delay. So I said, oh God, how much? So he said 4 to 5 minutes. I didn't know what to say. I didn't have a second point now. I was like, you're talking to an Indian guy about a delay and you're saying 4 to 5 minutes. And he was absolutely right. He got some feedback. This is pre-GPS and all this nonsense. So he had got some feedback on his radio. There was some accident somewhere. It was 4 to 5 minutes they waited. And then he carried on. Spot on, man. Singapore, brother. I wish they were a political party. I'd vote for them.
But Ganpati also means more hoardings with your favorite
Oh,
politician.
by the way, did you all see the hoarding? Speaking of hoardings, there's a guy standing up now. They got a cutout, which is a standout cutout.
Yeah, okay.
In Bandra, as we entered, I saw the left wishing people Dayahandi something.
Sweet.
It was
How
in
big is
it was
it?
in Devanagari, and I had 3 seconds to read it. I need 6 for 2 sentences. So yeah,
How big is it? Is it life size?
9 foot, 9 to
shit.
10 feet
Oh,
high.
it's bigger.
Much bigger than the guy. He was in all white. He's a famous politician from this area. Or
okay.
I couldn't tell.
Interesting.
I kind of automatically subtract all that stuff from my
And he had a lovely look on his face like the young Julius Caesar, looking far into the distance. I can see Pompeii or something. And that sort of moment was there. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, it's like you're in a circus. And then you're right. On the right, have you guys listen to Punit? Please go on YouTube and listen to Punit's rants on the posters. They are so funny. He died. The first time he said it, of course, these things, my empathy level is very high. So he has me Mondi's poster. But it's how they line up, how they stand on the board, whose face is bigger, whose face is smaller,
It's a hierarchy.
what makeup, what expressions they have. And it is absurdly, I can't even use the word ugly. What is the right word? Not even National Geographic can carry it and explain it, back in the day in
It's
evolution.
simply obnoxious.
terms.
You think
They're
about
evil.
people like this and you wonder how they have the guts to do it. Everybody has this thing where you give them a compliment, they're like, oh no, not me. They're a
And what is
little
his-
humble about
What
it.
is
This
his greatness, Niv? What is his greatness? He won an election through some God knows muscling or bullying or God knows how.
And he's bigger than Ganpati on the poster.
Oh, Ganpati is finished. There's no Ganpati. Ganpati is pushed out. Ganpati, they used to get the name on and then they say, Ganpati, abhi ho gaya, ab meri bari. And then they take over. It's like that. And what I don't get is when there are 40 heads on it.
Yeah.
Do they really expect us to stop and look at each one? I don't get that. Because they have to put everyone on. You've got to keep everyone happy. Yeah.
I don't recognize anybody on these things. Ever.
That is a beautiful thing. Honestly, it's a great thing that you don't know who they are.
Well, no, I mean, like you do, but you don't, right? In the sense that there are some who you would recognize, but you can never see them when you're driving past.
I
it.
saw this Congress thing which had Rahul and Sonia's picture right on top in Marine Drive, really big. They're not even coming to Bombay. But just for safety's sake, they have to be the biggest.
you
They're never going to
prefer-
see this poster,
Do you
And
prefer the billboards have pictures of the new show that's coming out?
That's
instead?
almost
Which show would
equally
that
bad.
be?
Yeah.
Which one?
That's the segue.
No, it's not a segue.
Oh, it's not a segue.
We're
I thought it was a segue.
We're going
Oh,
on
we
to
all
the,
thought it was a sounded like a segue.
we're going on
Shreyas.
to the next section, which is the AMAs. And I want to read out the first question that's
Right.
by Avranil Paul.
Oh, Hemisha, one second. Since you mentioned TN, although technically you're more Kenya meets Mumbai, TN used to have huge cutouts. That's true.
Oh,
The
massive.
South has this
Oh my God.
stereotype.
Every time a movie releases, we do like
that?
Abhishekams for these posters. Like we pour milk on Rajnikant's
yeah.
poster.
I stopped the car to see Dhoni's picture once. When at the height of his glory for Chennai Super Kings, it was bigger than Chennai. It was huge.
No, but these boards aren't just political. Sometimes, like, you have a girl in your neighborhood who, yeah,
What?
who will have like gotten her
But now in
period.
Tamil,
And
you
this
gotta
is
do
what happens. They put a poster up with her face, and then there'll be Vijay on one side, Ajit on the other side. I don't know why they do that, but it's very
the stars.
suspicious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
why?
yeah. Because they want to tell everybody that this girl is now of age.
Oh.
So in
It's
Bollywood terms, it's
crazy.
like you have Hrithik and Ranbir and this young girl in the middle, and that's the thing that
Yeah,
she
yeah,
gets her
yeah. And
first
everybody is
periods.
like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
No!
yeah. It's
Yes,
her
she said
first
that.
period. It's
Really?
Yeah, it's because she's like come of age.
Are you kidding me?
So you have this whole.
And you after Andrew Tate? Usne kya kiya, beta?
You have
That
this whole
guy's a
celebration
beautiful man.
every time a girl comes of age. But a lot of us don't do it because it's embarrassing as
Yeah, I
hell.
would think
What
And we don't
a
tell anyone
country.
like
Just
every
when you
normal
thought
person.
Mumbai was bad.
But we do that. We have this whole ceremony, we call the family.
Oh
and
my God.
I think it's to let everybody know.
And then all the young kids will think, take a period.
Isn't there a tradition where you can marry your mama?
Of course, you can marry your cousins in Tamil Nadu.
I thought she was making a Parsi point. I got worried there.
if it's your mum's brother's children or your
That's
dad's
mama.
sister's children, you can marry them.
So they're cousins.
Yeah.
But the mama connection.
Yeah, all my friends from college fell in love with their cousins because it's allowed. Like, it would be easier to marry a cousin than like someone in your college who, you're not related to.
Nuts.
That's a little isn't that scary health-wise? It's just
It
one
is.
generation apart like
It
that.
is.
And it's completely unnecessary anymore because I think they used to do that back in the day to keep the property within the family. But now no one really cares. Or
Well, so
has.
I think the rule in Hinduism, or supposed rule in like traditional Hinduism, is right. You're supposed to marry within your jati, but outside your gotra. So within
That's
your
North Indian.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Now they're
but
gonna
I mean,
fight.
like caste and
Now
stuff
these
like
two are
that,
gonna have a
it's
fight.
Similar, no?
Punit,
In
They used to-
South India, I don't know if we have Gotra because we just have
don't have
the
Gotra?
caste system.
Don't have
Gotras are
Gotra.
everywhere.
don't have-
Gotras are everywhere.
one
Gotra
great-
means clan.
I don't think so. This is the thing. I feel like South Indians are a little.
Finally, I have nothing to add. What is this Gotra Podra?
There are certain things, like for example, in the South, even in the caste system, you don't have the Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas. You only have Brahmins and the Shudras. Everybody else is a Shudra. You're either Brahmin or you're a Shudra.
And it's good not to be a Brahmin if you're trying to vote. I mean, if you're trying to stand for elections. Yeah.
No, but what about then the Dalit? There is Dalit.
There's the Dalit, yeah.
yeah, so that-
That's the Dalit is.
So she's
all
saying there's
of
no
us.
warrior class. They
There's
eliminated
no
that.
like in between classes.
It's all
like
there.
No, so
Caste
Shudra
never
and
goes
Dalit are not
away.
the same.
They're not the same.
No, they're not.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the
This has become an
hierarchy is like
infotainment
that.
show now on caste politics of the South.
Honestly, I don't understand caste. I've never understood it. I've never understood
I'm
the
saying
ins and
people
outs
should
of
be
it.
penalized. Should be a tax to
Yeah.
mention caste.
No, so I mean, like,
when you mention caste, you should have to pay $1,000.
so I've been somebody recommended to
it's-
me that I should read a school level Indian history book, right? So I got this book called Children's History of India, and I'm trying to read through it and kind of trying to understand some of the things. And so they mentioned some of these things in there, like how the caste system started to harden and how it kind of spread. And the thing that I got from that was that essentially it was just that, right? It was that you're supposed to marry outside of your you're supposed to marry within your caste but outside of your clan,
Outside of your blood.
outside of your clan. They
Your
use the word clan.
Clan is blood, basically, or some sort of.
So a little bit
These
more
are
than
regional.
that.
These
Let's
are
ask
regional
Punit.
rules.
Maybe.
They're
Punit
not
is the only
religious.
doctor here. He'll know everything. Dr. Punit, what exactly is the problem here?
If it is within 2 degrees of your family, then all hereditary diseases which are...
Is it not that Indian men are so ugly that there was no hope for them, that just marry your cousin and koi milega nahi? I think that would be part of the reason.
That and property, like she said.
Yeah, property was one
How
of
much
the main
property do you
reasons.
have? One plot in Nalsopara.
You must answer like Oscar Wilde. You have your mind.
Now
Beta.
someone's
That's
going
the
to
property.
threaten you to give them that plot. Got to be careful
Well,
about
the
revealing
caste
your
system is
asset.
everywhere.
And when you marry your cousin, be
But-
careful.
No, but it is important to talk about caste. But we'll go back to the
But
AMAs. The
would you-
first
have you
question by
got
Avranil Paul.
Sorry, last one. Did you ever get a proposal from a relative?
Oh, you know what? I didn't get a proposal, but apparently when I was born, my aunt, we were 3 girls.
Called
I
dibs.
have 2 older sisters. So apparently, kind of called dibs. So she has a son. And when I was born, she was like, wow, you just keep giving birth to girls for my son. And my dad gave her the death stare and said, you better not say that ever again.
Where's the WWE thing happening? The dad goes,
Oh yeah, my dad was one of those guys. Yeah, your parents defended you a lot because my dad used to defend us.
mine had to.
Like used to be.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me.
All right, let's go to the question.
Let's go
Avranil
to the
Paul's question is pretty interesting. Hello, Dr. Brocha and IVM family. A silly one for Mr. Doshi from your admiration for fantasy fiction. If given a chance, which literary universe would you like to be a part of?
Metaverse? Oh, I saw Hulk, by the way, before you answer the question.
The
Episode
She-Hulk.
1. She-Hulk. I
How
can't
was
bear
it?
the fact this Mark Ruffalo is like visible.
Was it
She-Hulk.
funny?
It hurts me.
Was it a comedy?
It's sort of boring, slow.
Oh
That-
no!
I've heard it's not great, right? I
That's
heard
so
that-
sad.
No, but we are raised in Lou Ferrigno, like horrible effects and
Yeah.
everything. But Hulk is like a mad enraged. As a male, that's what you want. What you can't do, beat everything to pulp, right? No, now I got this guy who's almost like a comedian and easygoing and friendly guy. He's not Andrew Tate anymore. What am I? Andrew Tate? Where's my Andrew Tate? It's not fair. And I think they've cashed in on the fact that he's a big star now. Oh, he's been for a long time. And so his face is visible. Shouldn't his face not be sort of? It should be that green. I can't tell who you are. That's the whole concept of Hulk, right? That you're something else completely.
Yeah.
He looks like a human being, is what I'm saying, but green color. Another race, which means more racism.
That's just weird.
Pointless. Yeah.
But what universe was to answer the
What
question?
Yeah.
fantasy
That's his
universe?
question.
Good question. Most of them are really, really dangerous. Like really
that the
dangerous,
fun
right?
part?
Well, no, I don't think that would be so much fun, right? Like I definitely know that Westeros, I would never. Like I haven't even watched the movies because I've read
God.
the books, or watched the show because I read the books, and I don't want to go ahead with that.
As a woman, never.
Yeah.
You would never want to go into Westeros.
Exactly.
That's
All
just-
these,
You're
all
saying
these places
fiction
are
is worse than
terrible.
reality for a woman? Because reality really
No,
sucks.
Westeros is like reality on steroids.
Westeros was reality as it existed 1,000 years ago.
Wow.
If that, right? I mean, like it is
Westeros.
brutal, man. I mean, like yes,
Just
Oh,
pretend you know,
absolutely
Punit. I've been doing
not.
that on 1,000
I was
episodes.
thinking of the fun ones, like Harry Potter and the Sandman.
Harry Potter, sure.
The
Maybe Harry
Sandman
Potter.
was.
I want to see that. I haven't
So
seen
what's your
that
point,
yet.
Oh, you haven't
Amit?
watched
That
it.
you
It's
don't
really
like
good.
fantasy when it
I
goes into
love fantasy.
unreality fantasy?
No,
I love fantasy too.
Is there a
It's my
level?
favorite.
I
Is there a
love
degree?
fantasy, but I love fantasy to imagine it and to
That's
kind
what I'm
of
saying.
read the stories about it. I don't want to go and live in those worlds.
Oh, in that sense.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, the way where art imitates life literally and you don't cross into that. But I, on the other hand, Punit and I, we watch porn and then we go and pretend that it's true. Well, separately, of course.
But if you think
Except
about
when I'm
it,
on a Burilvi train.
The Lord of the Rings is a nice. Because it's just like
Sure.
other people
That's a
are
huge
taking
fight,
care
right?
of something.
Tolkien
Yeah,
versus,
Lord of the Rings. It's
Rowling?
a world full of genocide, multiple genocides because.
1 second, so you're anti-Tolkien.
I like the stories. I don't like the world. I wouldn't want to live in that world.
But you
right?
like the Harry Potter world.
The Harry Potter world is the real world. It's just a side world on the side, right?
I think the Harry Potter world is nice because the
So you
kids
can
are
go in and
taking
out of
care
the
of all
world. Is
the
that your
important
point?
things.
Yeah.
And you don't go in and out of the world. The Tolkien
Because the
world.
kids have to take care of all the important things. The adults
That's
can just
true.
sit back and
Right, that's true.
wait.
Actually, that's a
But
good
in
point.
terms of
Okay.
makeup and, of course, because I'd never seen the Lord of the Rings, only read the books when I was young. Makeup and all Harry Potter scared me a lot. Huh?
Harry
Hey.
The moments just scared the hell out of me. That snake, for example, I couldn't sleep. Reminded me of an aunt
The
of
big
mine.
snake, basilisk.
Yes, what the hell name is? You have to talk to the kids know all
Alright.
these names.
Are you not good with the gore and just
I mean,
horror in
also-
I'm
general?
married, so I am, but
We come from Indian mythology. Indian mythology is full of snakes.
Baba, Indian
That's
mythology, no disrespect and don't attack me because I am Indian, whether I like it or not. Some of the mythology, when they show it to you, it's funny. Okay, the makeup, the references, the acting.
Okay.
Or the archaic Sanskriti Hindi, which, I don't understand why they have to suddenly talk
As
like
long
that.
as-
We
You're not
have
any
this.
names.
What is the story we have of Krishna dancing on the head of a snake for like the head of a snake which is gigantic, it's the
question
size
is-
of the world.
Yes, but what does that snake look like when they depict it? Not
It's a
what you imagine.
cobra.
Imagine is different from depicting.
Dude,
I've watched
it's
it
a
visually.
cobra the
It's a
size of the
it's a
world.
But cobra
multi-headed
doesn't
cobra.
upset me. A multi-headed cobra doesn't upset me that much. That bacillus facilus fellow. I don't know. Maybe it's just darker lighting. It's just very scary. I had a lot of moments I didn't like in Harry Potter. As in, I was scared. I had to hold my daughter's hand.
In the first two movies, really?
Don't ask me for reference to context, bro. I can't. It's not like Tarzan for me. I don't
Dude,
really
the
care
first
about
two
it.
movies were
Tarzan.
made
Love
by the
Tarzan.
guy who made Chris Columbus. They're the most like
Hey,
milk
Chris
toast.
Columbus is the guy who discovered America. You're getting confused, bro.
That's Christopher
Okay?
Columbus.
Well, what do you think his full name was? You think this is Chris? Check the passport. Where's his
That's
Aadhaar
why he
card?
calls himself
Get me
Chris
his
Columbus.
Aadhaar card. Next to Modi's
Krishnamachari
picture, there will be
Columbus.
Christopher Columbus G.
Krishnamachari
No, but those were
Columbus.
Krishnamachari.
Those were actively considered child movies, right?
Just
Kids
want to
movies.
mention Punit made him a Brahmin. So can we have a caste war going on the side? Sorry, what are we doing?
Oh, next question by Shavik Bagchi. Punit, what would you like to say to a 25-year-old person who's already jaded?
Oh man.
Wow.
Why are you asking Punit
No,
that?
all the young
Talk about being
comedians are
jaded.
finished who come on the show. There's no future for them.
Stop reading. Ignorance is bliss. The more you read, the fewer friends you will have. So,
Also, cynicism.
That's actually correct.
At 25, when you're cynical, first you think, wow, this guy's breath of fresh air. Look, feels angst and pain about everything. But at 25, it's scary.
Yeah,
But
it's
aren't
too-
all
too soon.
25-year-olds like that?
Not really. I thought I'd become more bitter over the decades. I know that
There's a
25 I wasn't
partying
like this.
kind,
Were you?
and so
Punit,
it's
Punit, you're quite cynical, but you're cynical now. Were you cynical 10 years ago?
yeah, absolutely.
Were you cynical on your 14th birthday when no one turned up?
For my age group, I was always cynical.
Okay, so
For
you
my
suck.
age group, yeah.
You're just seeing the glass empty anyway. So
Yes.
then, the premise is that your philosophy is always perverted, in a sense. You can't have a balanced thought because it doesn't matter where we put the guy, right? Then the guy is in a certain Western civilization, like a Nordic civilization, where everything is great on the face of it. He'll still find the negativity.
Highest
And he'll rage
suicide
against
rates
that.
in the world.
There you go. He's already unhappy. God, I hate women with blonde hair. For example, there are people like that. Racism is everywhere. Racism is not just one way. Come
I
on.
think that's more preference than racism, isn't it?
I don't like women with hair.
With blonde
I
hair.
feel they've already got one thing over me. I'm like, stop. Amit, why are you making faces? We're not making you watch Tolkien's movies. He doesn't want to
like
watch
Tolkien's movies.
Lord of the Rings.
Our next question is from Aditya
Hey,
Sharda.
last thing, sorry, I just want to ask the last thing about these sci-fi kind of lovers that I think he is, and Punit, that you are too.
Yeah,
How do
yeah.
you rank Star Wars 1 then?
Man, started
No,
everything. I have a lot
no.
of respect.
80s ka Star Wars.
70s ka Star Wars.
70s ka Star
Yeah.
Wars.
I'm into it.
I love
Mark
it.
Hamill and that gang.
I'm into it.
I really like
It
it.
was funny.
Good? You?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can watch it and you don't feel it's antiquated
I
in that
watch
sense
it
when you watch it
at
against...
least once a year.
Whoa.
All Star Wars
That's
movies.
his
Oh my
Sholay.
God, you should have come to the
Amit
Star
Sholay.
Wars party we had. I should have
Okay.
invited you. It
right.
was really fun. It was really fun. Anyway.
What did you say about...
I have a few of these that I watch every year. I watch Star Wars every year. I
See
try
how-
and watch Lord of the Rings every year.
Wow. See, he's not cynical.
Have you been to Comic Con
There's
dressed
a
as some
12-year-old
like Darth
12-year-old
Vader?
beating in his chest, and I don't mean it in a
You have
sexual
not.
way.
You don't like
He
to go
likes
to like
Star Wars,
these-
you like
I'm
Star
not into
Wars.
cosplay at
See,
all.
you're cynical. You're cynical because the things you watch, Punit, are scary. Sorry, we're just going
No
on.
worries. I was talking to him separately.
Yeah, you might have a conversation. We're the two guys in the back of the class and no one listens to because we just have our own silly conversation.
Do you think there could be a porn movie shot in the Mumbai local, like the late ones which are empty? That's less a fantasy.
Yeah, but the plot will always be the same, no? Plot will always be the same. Late aa gaya to de diya. I apologize. We have a very adult audience, so I thought it's okay now. I've just been told
Yeah, there are parents
only
in the
parents.
audience.
Parents who never travel by train, but yeah, so somewhere.
We have only one last question. Do you want to? It's for you.
Oh, where? But I get no
Cyrus.
question here. I tried watching.
No, there's Aditya Sharda. You're going to put
Oh.
that question on? Yeah, Cyrus, my gym trainer keeps on telling me to work out at 6 a.m. in the morning as it is.
Oh,
it has
okay,
a better
okay.
effect on
Let
the
the
body.
great man explain what he knows about this. The test levels are higher in the morning when you wake up after a good night's sleep. That's it. It's why you get better erections and things like that. I mean, you can do the maths on that. But I think better than that because it's not like he's training for Mr. Olympia. So that 2% extra. I mean, I don't understand that. So it doesn't make a difference to me. But what I'm saying is, as you age, if you don't work out in the morning, your chances in India, in urban India, are very difficult later. Because
Yeah.
most people can't control the day. You can't control the evening. You can't control the night. So I'm saying get into the morning habit or let it go. It's
Great
not a big
point.
deal. But these guys have friends, why do they have to go to the gym? They have other things to do. I mean, he's got his Lord of the Rings once a year. For the others, Star Wars once a year. I can't believe he comes to work. I mean, he's got so many serials and sagas to watch.
No, dude. I mean, like it's watching Star Wars every so often is amazing.
Have you
dude.
watched Superman 1, Christopher
No,
Reeve?
that movie does not hold up.
Did you like Back to the Future?
I love
Series?
Back to the Future.
I love
haven't
Back to
seen it
the
in a
Future.
few
But it's
years,
funny.
but I love Back to
Special
the
effects
Future.
don't count that much for me. It's funny.
Yeah,
It's funny enough.
Star Wars is funny,
Michael
dude.
J. Fox is great.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
for
saw-
a 12-year-old. Sorry.
I saw The Godfather recently again for like the
holds up.
umpteenth time. It's
holds up.
amazing.
The horse scene for me, man.
Dude,
wow.
so Sunny Khan, Jimmy Khan, James Khan
killed.
died, right? A couple of months
Yeah,
ago,
yeah, correct,
like a
correct.
month ago
Yeah,
or so.
yeah.
And so I started watching The Godfather again. Dude, that
I
movie
loved
is
him, huh?
so good.
Oh, yeah.
The scene where he gets killed in the
Yeah.
telephone booth. I mean, that
Amazing.
was...
Only movie I've seen like repeatedly is Desperado because my father
I
loves
love
it.
Desperado too. It's one of my
I like
Robert
Desperado.
Rodriguez.
Yeah.
The
Did you
Antonio
know what he sells
Banderas
the kidney
movie,
to make
yeah.
the film?
No, so that was his first movie. He
Oh.
made a movie called
I thought he's Desperado.
El Mariachi.
El Mariachi.
I like that too.
Yeah, $7,000 he
Yeah,
made
yeah,
that movie for. He didn't sell
Oh,
the
man.
kidney, but he went into medical experimental research.
He
and then he
sold
made that.
one testicle and half an eye.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was an Indian doctor who said, "Do mein ek milega."
But I love that. I love Desperado, which was basically the same character story taken ahead.
But it's very sleek and it's funny and with great music.
So your dad still holds the remote. That's what we learned.
Great. Where did you guys watch your English film when back in the day?
Star movies. Where else?
There used to be specific channels to watch specific kinds of films.
Let me
right?
explain, Mumbaikars. If the movies are free and we have paid 175 for the month, we have to watch every single movie. Okay? And the father will tell you, we will watch. I don't care the language. I don't care what. Dadal, badal, kuch nahi. 180 rupiya ka bill hai. We will watch every movie. And so we watch every movie. And that's why I know so much about Korea.
There was a lot of recording happening at that time.
Yeah.
I remember that. I mean, like, you would actually scour the newspaper, see what movie is playing at what point in time.
Yeah.
And then you would record it on the VCR. Like, I learned how to program the VCR so that it will start at a particular time.
No, but Desperado is a very male film, if I can be sexist for a minute. I mean,
It is.
It's got that thing where most males will like it. Except for Kunal. I don't know any male who doesn't like it. Not saying anything, Kunal. Just that, you don't like that kind of thing. Too much violence.
But Salma Hayek is there. You can't complain.
Yes.
But he's never going to get her. The fantasy is too unreal. Pointless. Always, that's why the actresses shouldn't be too hot. If they're too hot, we already feel a disconnect. Because how's it ever going to happen in your mind?
Oh, stop it. You've watched a movie just because the actress was extremely hot?
No, I like them to be like half like freakish, like with no eyebrows or something. Then I feel they have low self-esteem, then I can strike at something.
Like Charlize Theron and Mad Max, because she was super
or just
hot.
Charlize Theron
Honestly,
generally.
if you want Charlize Theron in the movie 2 Days from the Valley, I literally went to see that because she looks so amazing on the poster. I can't believe that.
She was in Kashmir, huh? Asking. Wow. Yeah, but I like Punit's technique with the ladies. He just makes the actress, all his films, the plot is, the item number is, the girl is on the train going to Burari. And that's it. Woman is not even, she's dressed normally. By the end, all her clothes are ripped apart and there's nothing left. And she's, chole ke piche kya hai? He's asking the question. Because nobody knows.
Yeah, but in Indian movies, if you have to. Yeah.
Sparsh is doing a young Hema Malini. Dance for us. Yeah.
He does have that
Sparsh
hair.
is wanting us to wrap up.
How dare he? 22-year-old telling us what to do.
Right.
Where's this country headed? Unbelievable.
Gen Z people are going to
But
take over.
Yeah, man.
He is a Spotify artist, so you got to give him that.
Yes. Don't make fun of him, brother. Because one day if he's a superstar, he'll never forget us, the cynics. Yeah, he'll forgive everybody else but you and me.
The Cynics is a good name for a rock band also.
I think so. Because no one's going to come anyway.
I'm
How
pretty
does
sure
it
there is a rock band
must
called
be.
the Cynics.
All right, that was great hosting.
It's time to. I hope it was.
Listen,
I mean,
just
I
one
don't know
second.
if it
Everybody
was,
is saying Gangs of Wasipur is like Godfather. Somebody says Sarkar is like Godfather. I'm sorry, the only movie that's like Godfather is Dharmatma. That's
Dayavan.
it. Dharmatma.
Dharma.
No, the
never
Kamala
watched
Hassan
that
original
film.
is the closest. Nayakan.
No, yeah.
Nayakan is a good
Oh
film.
man,
Nayakan is
you
Scarface.
You don't like Nayakan?
I love Nayakan.
I like Nayakan, but Nayakan is not the Godfather.
No,
They're saying
it's not the
movie-
Godfather, but I'm saying from our genre, that's for me is number one.
Nayakan is
Very
more
good
like
film.
Goodfellas or more like it's a
we can
story
get
of
into
an
that.
individual. This right? Dharmatma was a story which was essentially Feroz Khan ripped off the Godfather.
Oh, you mean that way? Okay.
It was the same story, right? He went to Hema Malini was his
I think
Apollonia.
on the first day of shooting, they told him these Italian names nahi chalega. Corleone, Raju Corleone. Oh my god.
That was Feroz Khan's first directorial movie. I remember that movie well.
I like Feroz Khan.
I love
Might have
Feroz
ripped
Khan.
off a few, but he was a good guy.
Yes.
A lot of style.
Yep, Dharmatma.
Also something. Yeah.
That was a movie.
Okay, this show is just floundering like my marriage. So should we stop now?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what we were
All
planning
right.
to do. It's time.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In, or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.